Here's an overview of the code that I'll be running shortly. Starting with the main method of this class, the naive Bayes method begins training in this section, taking each file and determining whether or not they're a spam or an email, and building the classification models. And this section does all the testing. For each file in the test set, we'll classify them and test the accuracy. And then down here we'll find out how accurate our process was by the end. Jumping right into the read file method, which is where we do our training, we just open up each file here and get every word. Well, we're defining word as anything that is surrounded by white space. And once we lowercase it, we then determine whether or not this is a spam or an email and add it to the relevant hash map, which are our classification tools. Not much else to see in this one. Jumping right into the classification method itself, this is where we read a test record and attempt to find out which class it is. Starting off here, we have to get our actual answer so we can see how well we did. And we define a hash set to get all the words from it. We then open and take all the words like before in this section. And then we add the words to our hash set. And then here at the end, we close up our file and we begin classification. I'm going to jump right past here and into our actual classification method. We first take the record and get it ready for this for loop here, and we define a couple of important things for our naive Bayes calculations, like our vocabulary and the scores that we'll be deciding which it is. Then, of course, we have to make sure none of the missing words in our vocabulary cause any horrible hiccups by checking and replacing them with zeros. And then we do the actual nitty-gritty naive Bayes calculations here using the log method to make sure there's no underflows happening. Then it just returns whichever score is higher. And then hopping right back here, it'll decide whether or not that return number fits the right, whether it was right or wrong in its guess, and it returns either 1 or 0 back up to here, hits, where we then divide hits by the number of test records to get our accuracy. And now we'll see how accurate we are, shall we? Not half bad, if I say so myself.